Hi, my name is Amy Farnsworth. I teach here at the Southeast YMCA on Weatherly Road, and I'd like to talk to you today about balance. 3 elements of balance are muscle strength, mobility, and confidence. And if you can improve just one of those, the other 2 will go along with it. So those are the things you want to think about. We don't want to get into a downward spiral. Maybe somebody has had a fall and they're afraid to move, so they don't move, and then pretty soon they can't move as much, and then they're even more afraid. So we want to stop that spiral, turn it around, make it a positive spiral. A little bit more that you do, a little bit more that you can do, a little more confident you are, then you can do a little bit more. So that's what we want to think about, just little things that we can do every day in our daily lives that will help our balance. We're going to start thinking about how we sit in a chair. Can you sit up upright? We want to think about posture, shoulders over the hips, ears over shoulders, top of the head lifted. You're going to think about your center of balance. Those abdominal muscles might be pulled in a little bit. And just see how you feel just sitting upright in a chair. Take a breath or 2. Then we want to think about transitioning to standing. And that's a practice just in itself, getting up off the chair. So you want to think about where your feet are, kind of a little bit in under the knees. You want to think about shifting the weight. And if you've got arms on the chair and want to use your arms, that's great too. But as you practice, you might find that you need your arms a little less and less. The important thing is do everything slowly and carefully. So as we gently shift the weight, use the knees, strong legs to come up, and just take your time. And a very good practice is to just kind of do a squat again, maybe sit down again, take a breath, and try it again. Shifting the weight, coming up slowly and carefully. Most falls happen because we're moving too quickly and not paying attention to what we're doing. And then once we're standing, when you practice your balance, you want to have something to hold on to. A sturdy chair or a countertop, maybe in your kitchen. When you stand, you want to come into really good posture. Think about where your feet are. If your feet are parallel and under the hips, that gives you a solid base of support. Shoulders come back over the hips, ears come back over the shoulders. Keep the knees soft though, we don't want to lock the knees. And then just see how it feels to stand up tall and straight, strong on your own 2 feet. But of course, you've got something to hold on to. If you're holding on to something, you might think about maybe lessening the grip. Maybe you go down to 2 fingers, 1 finger, maybe you tap up and down. Just whenever you need that for reassurance, it's always there for you. Now we're thinking about our stance, that steady stance. But you can do some experimenting with where the feet are to challenge yourself a little bit. Maybe you put the feet closer together. Then you're kind of standing like a bowling pin. You've got that smaller base of support, so it's a bit of a challenge. Stand there for a while, see how it feels. All of these things just do as long as you feel comfortable, and then switch it out. After you've done that a while, just take it out, shake it out a bit. Then we'll try tandem stance with 1 foot in front of the other. And maybe you line them up like you're on a line, or maybe you have a split stance with some space between the feet, just 1 forward, 1 back. See how you're comfortable. But once you get there, make sure the feet are grounded and the knees are soft. And then if you want, you can try some little things. Maybe move the arms a little bit. Maybe turn the head a little bit. Maybe if you're holding on, you can lift the heels up and come back down. And you do that as many times as you want. Maybe you take 1 foot off the floor so it's 1 foot balance. Or you take the foot to the side and you're a balancing star, or behind you. So play with it. Once you've done that on both feet, you might want to walk that tightrope. Just heel and toe, heel and toe. You only need a few steps forward and a few steps back so you're not too far from your chair or your kitchen counter. And then come back and take a breath. Now, one of the really great things to do for balance is practice standing on 1 foot. Again, you're going to want something to hold on to, but you'll get 1 foot grounded, and then just pick up the other. Maybe time yourself. Our benchmark for a risk of fall is 10 seconds. So if you can stand on 1 foot for at least 10 seconds, good for you. You're at less risk of a fall. If you cannot stand even for 5 seconds, you are a fall risk, so that's something you want to work on. And just feel as long as you're comfortable, and then Of course, switch, do it on the other foot. But again, something you practice every day. Maybe you're waiting for the microwave to cook your tea in the morning, and you just stand by the kitchen counter, lift up one foot, all good. Then shake it out a bit. Some nice exercises for balance are to lift the heels up and down, and just see how that feels. Take your time. And then maybe you want to hold the heels up and just see how that feels. All good. We like to do some roll-ups where we put one heel forward. Again, hold the chair. And just roll up and raise the heels up. Roll back, raise the front toes. We do that a few times. This is working the ankles and challenging the balance. Nice. Shake it out and breathe. And then you want to think about stepping. So maybe you take a few steps forward and a few steps back. Maybe you take some side steps. Maybe you take a little faster. Just see what's working for you. You also want to think about how you turn around. Have something to hold on to if you need to. But we want to take it slowly, just turning one foot, turning the other, and just taking as many steps as you need. Now, ideally, if you can do that in 4 steps, that's great. But take as many as you need just to practice with that. You might also want to do some lunges so you can feel yourself stepping forward and feeling that weight shift, and then coming back. Let me try that to the side. Let me try it behind. It's all good. You want to think about that movement, that mobility in your hip. So you can do some little swings. Notice that we're all standing on one foot while we're doing these exercises with the other leg. Do some circles maybe. Nice. One thing that I like to do is move in slow motion. Maybe some slow motion march where we slowly bring one knee up, just slowly put it down, and then we go the other side. So we're challenging our balance, we're getting that mobility in the hip, and we're strengthening the muscles. All 3. You want to be able to lift your foot up so that it can clear a curb. So I like to practice stepping forward in slow motion and then bringing it back again. You want to have that mobility and that strength and that balance. So when you come to step up on the curb, you make sure your foot's high enough. Don't want to trip over it. All good. So those are the basic things that you want to do. Practice when you have time. Do those simple movements. Basically just be confident, be strong, be balanced, take care of yourself. Thanks.